street chasing wrong from right. Eyes like fire burning through the haze. Truth is a weapon, cuts through the maze. Some call her trouble, some call her brave. Digging up secrets they tried to save. A real deal around town. She's breaking it down. Spinning the wheel, exposing the sound. They despise her, they praise her, but she won't slow down. Real deal around town. The truth's her cry. Shadows, they curse her name. Afraid of the spotlight she brings to the game. But the grateful ones, they cheer in the dark for the spark she ignites in their weary hearts. Some call her danger, some call her hope. She's the thin line on the tightrope. The sound. They despise her, they praise her, but she won't slow down. Real deal around town. The truth's her crown, yeah. The sound. They despise her, they praise her, but she won't slow down. Real deal around town. The truth's her crown, yeah. The truth's her crown, yeah.
Well, hi everybody. Let me get that out of the way. Well, we're here. Welcome, welcome everybody. We got a few people standing by, waiting to hear what the hell I'm going to say about Joe Skank. I'm going to remove that from the stage. Want to get things moving here. It's what day is this? Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? Wednesday morning. The sun's out. It's over 40 degrees. All that snow we got yesterday is going to melt today. Watch it. If not today, tomorrow, because it's going to be even warmer tomorrow, I think. I'm not sure. I can't remember. It's going to be 70 next week. So all this snow is going to be gone, right? Okay. For those of you that are watching locally, you know what I'm talking about. If you're watching from somewhere else, we have a lot of snow out here, and it snowed yet again yesterday. Okay, my throat is not ready for prime time yet. I slept in this morning. So I've only been up for about an hour. So bear with me as I finish waking up and finish my first cup of coffee. So you're getting me before my first cup of coffee has been fully consumed. So that I should be in rare form today and ready to go on this topic. This is a hot topic that everybody's been waiting for forever. We are going to expose Joe Skank for who he is because he has decided to jump in on this election. And of course, we knew that was going to happen, but we're going to stop him in his tracks. Or we're going to create World War III right here in Townsend. He's tried to do that before. He was pretty successful. But look who's still standing, me. And I'm coming for you, Joe. I'm not taking your shit this time. I mean, you weren't attacking me in your Facebook post that you made the other day. You're attacking everybody else, but I will not stand for it. I have a soapbox, and I'm using it to make sure we're going to have a free and fair election here in Townsend without the usual bullshit from you. And yeah, it's early. I'm letting go. So you're going to see what I have to say. So he put out, I got to try to pull it up and at least get it ready to go. Take me a second here. I guess it's a window file. Hold on. Stand by. I know, I just stopped my momentum in my tracks. Where are we? There it is. Okay, I'm not going to put... All right, it's right in front of me. Get back to where I need to be. Okay, I'm back here. So, what I'm going to do is... He put a very simple... bad spelling, bad grammar, run-on sentences, and a bunch of lies, like he usually does. He usually makes shit up just to try to win his point and get people to listen to him, and they believe him. And it's just nonsense. And I'm going to expose the lies for what they are that he put in a Facebook post that it's my understanding. Now, I am not on these Facebook groups, so I've had a couple people send them to me because I have supporters who know I'm not on these Facebook groups. One was What's Going On, and Townsend What's Going On, and the other one was Discussing Townsend. I want nothing to do with those groups. I've tried, I left What's Going On because it's such a vile corner of the universe. And Discussing Townsend, I wanted to get on because I wanted to see this kind of bullshit, what gets posted there, because it's usually from vile people. Even the people running it are assholes. And they want to have their little conversations like this, and not, that only certain people in Townsend who they think are the only people that should be running this place can talk about. So, but those of you who support my channel are on these Facebook pages, and you sent me multiple copies of this post, and but he posted it wherever he can get his friends to watch it, because I think there's other Facebook groups that won't allow him in. So, before we get started, I know I'm going to keep you hanging there for a few minutes while I just do my preliminaries. And I just want to remind you, while you're here watching this very important video, like the video before we even go. If you don't like it later, you can unlike it, okay? I just want you to like it before you forget to like it, okay? We're going to get those likes up. The YouTube algorithm likes, okay? That's all. I mean, I don't get any money. I'm not monetized. For those of you that's another lie that Joe's friends spread around the universe, is I'm monetized and I'm not. And I'm not trying to get monetized, okay? But like the video and also subscribe. That also helps get the word out, okay? So we'll get that out of the way. I'll take that down for now. I'll put it back up later. All right. So Joe's a liar and a jerk. We know that. That's why I call him Joe Skank, because that fits him. I sometimes forget what his real name is, which I'm sure if he's on here, he's seething. Whoops, what did I do there? Okay. See, it's early. I'm just not awake. Let me see. Where'd I put I got to find it on my own page. It's on the screen. I have to pull it up somewhere else so I can see, so I can follow along, because I can't see that on my little screen that I'm using. Where's my preview? There it is. Okay. Let me see if that's... Oh, wait. It's not very big. Okay. Yeah. It's not... Yeah. Whatever. Okay. Discussing Townsend. This is the page that I have this one from. Joe Skank. I got this last night. Okay. I'm going to read this. I'm going to bore you to tears. No, you won't be bored. If you haven't... Many of you have seen this. And I'm going to go through it and we're going to dissect it. Those of you who have not seen this, you're just... Now... I'm not going to tell the tale. I'm going to go through this and we'll dissect it together. To all our Townsend residents, that's a big grammar spelling check. Spelled residents wrong in this usage. I should have been an English teacher. To all our Townsend residents, as we all know, your house, apparently, not the people, just the houses, he likes to make money off real estate, so I guess he would use residents instead of residents. As we all know, elections are coming up. No period here. Veronica Kell is not running for her position. Or, geez, it's hard because, and some people commented on Facebook that they got headaches trying to read this because it had no grammar, no spelling, and the punctuation just throws you right into outer space. What is he trying to say here? This sentence, I guess, our houses know that there's an elections, more than one apparently, are coming up, and Veronica Kell is not running for her position. Is she moving? That would be nice. But no, she's not running for re-election. Apparently, that's what he's trying to say. I have been told that a couple of people have pulled papers. First, that I know, the grammar, I can't. I'm getting that headache everybody's talking about. First, that I know Harrison, our new town clerk, not really sure how we got elected, but oh well. I don't know what this object thing is. That's what was in this screenshot that I got. Anyway, I don't know if there was a funny face and it's not coming through. I don't know. This is tough. All right. Harrison, our new town clerk, not really sure how we got elected, but oh well, couple things about him when I was on a selectman. I'm dying. When I was on as a selectman, we hired him to do our web design and keep our web page up to date, and as everybody knew, for several years. That's really tough. That's a tough sentence because without having any context about it, nobody could tell what he's even talking about. He's got one comma. The one comma is placed properly, but there should have been a couple more in here, or maybe even a period, and let's start another sentence. I don't know. I thought Joe stopped drinking years ago. Maybe not. I don't know. All right, now we're going to start another sentence. Oh, boy. Okay. We had nothing but inaccurate, not up to date, and wrong information being put out there. By who? The select board? That we know. This is a mess. I mean, the select board has historically, if Joe had anything to do with it, wrong information being put out there. And I'm going to add, I know what he's trying to say, and it's just incorrect information. Harrison was our web guy. He maintained the web page, but he didn't put information up there on his own. He only put information on the website that the select board had provided to him. And it was like, I don't know all the details, but he was not, the town, not Harrison, changed contractors, and a lot of, which he didn't do. He didn't have anything to do with everything that disappeared off the webpage. The old webpage was a different company that provided the actual, it's not hardware, but I guess software. But the data that goes on, the type, the stuff that you read on there, that has to get added by a person, and that's what Harrison did. And he wasn't responsible for the page itself. And when they converted from one company to another, a lot got lost in the conversion. And that was not our web, the person who was entering data on the web page. Like, people are entering data on the web page, it's still wrong, or there's still nothing on the web page, and Harrison hasn't been doing it for well over a year. So, whoever's doing it now isn't doing it. So we got a Facebook page, but that has, Harrison wasn't going to do that, from my understanding. But anyway, but the inaccurate, not up to date, and wrong information being put out there, it was definitely from Joe and Chaz and whoever else was out there when he was on a select board twice. But Joe was responsible, and whoever our town administrator that week was not, the information was not independently determined by Harrison. He was just really, the webpage person is only clerical. They're not deciding what goes on the webpage. They're just putting on what town officials want. So I'm spending too long on that. All right. So Joe's trying to say he's not a Townsend resident, never has been a town resident. I think he's still talking about Harrison here. He's not clear. But Harrison Mayotte is a town resident. He's been living here more than a year. I don't know what month he actually moved in, so I can't say. I think it is more than a year, definitely. And he's living he's renting from a homeowner here in Townsend, and he really lives there. I know he really lives there. I've seen him there. So I don't know. And, he's an elected official right now. He's our town clerk. And let me tell you, he's running our elections, etc., and so on, and many important things in our town. So I know and this is overseen also by the state. The Secretary of the Commonwealth oversees this. And let me tell you, if we had a non-resident as an elected official, and if somebody thinks that we have a non-resident as a town official, then somebody should be filing a formal complaint with the Secretary of the Commonwealth. And I know that they would do something, and certainly they would remove anybody who, if there were any evidence of the fact that would be true. And this is a lie. This is just something that Joe is coming up with to say that he's not a town resident. It says he was from Westford. I believe Westford or Chelmsford or whatever. He is renting a room from Jane Churchville. Actually, he's renting a room from Mary Jane Churchville. I think Jane Churchville is a different person. Westford, so he doesn't even know where he's from, which he's from. We're all from, most of us in Townsend are from somewhere else. Anyway, everybody, there's some people who are multi-generational Townsend people, but I'm not one of them, and most people aren't. I don't even think Joe is. So I don't know what the hell. But whether he's from Westford or Chelmsford, I don't know. I know he worked in Chelmsford. I don't remember where his family's from. It's Westford or Chelmsford. I'm not stalking Harrison to figure out where he spent all of his years that he's been on this earth. It just doesn't matter. But it's perfectly fine to rent a room from somebody. And it's not so he can say he's a Townsend resident. As though he's given Mary Jane money but he doesn't really even spend a minute there. That's not true. I know he does. He really does live there. He's registered to vote there. And if anybody feels that there's a problem there, please contact authorities and file, he could go to prison. And, just like Joe could go to prison because he doesn't live here either. Harrison has made it very public that if he gets in, he is going after several departments and individual people. That is factual. The people are I don't know what's factual. Individual people, that is factual. There's no comma there. I don't know what he's talking about. But if he's trying to say that Harrison has made it very public that if he gets in, okay, here we go. This is the first challenge I have for Joe or anybody else that says Joe knows everything. If something has been made very public, then there's some evidence of it. There must be Joe is not saying he's heard it from Harrison. He's just saying he's made it very public. That means, is there something in writing? Is there a Facebook post? Is there a hijacked email, text message, recording, something? He is going after several departments and individual people. That is factual. Where are they? And what? Give some context. This is typical Joe Skank to throw these accusations out there with absolutely no basis. And if there's any basis, I'd like to see it, and I'll put it up. I will put it on a video if there's some actual factual basis to this. And I know there isn't. Because this is, if there was, Joe would put it here. He would put it there. And some of his trusted, loyal, obsessed cult followers would have put it as a follow-up on this post, and none of them did that. They just said, oh yeah, it's true, I know it's true. Yeah, you're just crazy people. Also, I have been in the town clerk's office a couple of times, and he has never been there. His assistant only has helped me, and he was very helpful, and I hope we don't go backwards. I have no idea what this sentence means. But the sentence before it said he's been in a couple of times and he has never been there. Did you know that there's a restroom outside of the town clerk's office? And the town clerk does have other things to do. Jack, his assistant, isn't always in there either because, they have things to do around the town, and they do get to go to the doctor's appointments or what have you from time to time. There's no requirement that somebody, just because Joe wants everybody to stop what they're doing and bow down to him and, make sure he can take attendance in the whole town hall whenever he sets foot in Townsend first. I mean, he's never in Townsend because Joe Skank doesn't live here. Talk about people who don't live here. Joe should not be talking about anybody else. Everybody, I want to check something here. I'm getting comments. Hold on. I know, yes, Jane Churchville. I know who Jane Churchville was. Yep, Mary Jane Churchville is not Jane Churchville. Different people. All right, where am I? See, now I lost track. I had to check. Where I'm reading this thing, I can't see the comments. I have to go back every once in a while and see if people are leaving comments. So, sorry for the distraction. Okay. Everybody from Townsend takes pride of being a Townsend resident. Well, that would be Townsend residents, which does not include Joe Skank. He is doing exactly what he's accusing Harrison of doing, renting a room so he could say he lives here. He even made his kids put in an in-law apartment so he could say he lives there when he lives half the year in Winnipesaukee, where he's got a multi-million-dollar home. And I don't think if I had a multi-million-dollar home on Lake Winnipesaukee, I would be living in an in-law apartment in Townsend. Of all places, Townsend, Massachusetts, I just wouldn't do it. Anyway, but I can understand having the in-law apartment in your kid's house so that when you do come in, you have a place to crash. But no, that's not where he really lives. No, Joe Skank does not live here. And he also has a condo in Tarpon Springs, Florida, right down the street from Gary Shepard, by the way. And so the other half of the year, he lives there. How about that? So Joe Skank, he's registered to vote. He is registered to vote here in Townsend because he knows how to play the game, right? He's not, but he doesn't. He's only saying he still lives here so he can run his mouth on our Facebook pages and harass people. So he never has to stop that. One of these days, he's going to have to pick a town to live in. Oh, yes, he will. But anyway, we really need to think that through. Exactly. Like, don't listen to people that don't live here. Joe Skank doesn't live here. He doesn't give a hoot about it. He just wants to harass and control us. He's a jerk. It will be in the town's best interest to put a Townsend resident as a representative for the Board of Selectmen. And absolutely, I fully endorse Harrison Mayotte as our newest member of the Board of Selectmen. He's certainly, he's got the experience required. And I'm going to say that over everybody else that's taken papers out. Which we'll get to. And Joe wants to make sure we get there. And this is the next paragraph, if it's a paragraph at all, we're going to be revealing more of Joe's lies and some of his cult-obsessed followers try to put out there. All right, now for the real kicker. I heard Gordy Clark has pulled papers to rerun for thus position. I don't know what that means. Please, everybody, think back as to what we as a community went through when Gordy Clark, Cindy King, that's me, and Carolyn Smart, we're on the board. We were not on the board together. We're on the board, and we had 7 lawsuits from those people. We do not need Mr. Clark back in any position in our town. He will do nothing but destroy us again. His wife even sued the town of Townsend. So here's my opportunity. I've been waiting for an opportunity to address some of the issues in this paragraph. So here's my chance. I need a sip of coffee before I go too far on this. Somebody said, I want to see if I got a text from anybody because I did. Let's see. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, I got more than one person gave me the Jane Churchville update, which is good. I know who Jane Churchville was. She used to be really active in town. When I first moved here, I wasn't really active in town. I was on the ambulance, and I was a dispatcher over at the communication center, as they called it back then, which used to be in town hall. But anyway, that was my activity. I wasn't involved in the politics. That was like deep, 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 deep. I'm glad I never got involved when I first moved here because it would have been more disastrous than it is now. So anyway, yes, Joe Skank made life pretty miserable for this Board of Selectmen when I was there. It was a nightmare, and I'm not going to go deep into some of it. But what I am going to say is he brought up these lawsuits, these alleged 7 lawsuits. I don't even know how many there were. There were several. I don't know if 7 is the right number. I don't know. I don't go through them every day and say, how many? Do we have 7? I don't know. I don't know if it's 7, 5, 6, 8. I don't know. But either way, I'm going to go through, generally, I'm going to go through them and explain why this is nonsense. The fact that, if his friends decided to file lawsuits. Yep. None of them, only one lawsuit had any merit to it. Some of you are waiting for this. Oh, Cindy's going to talk lawsuits. Oh my gosh, here we go. What is she going to say? Yep, I got to go back to it. Okay. There were, however many there were, the bulk of them, at least 2 people who filed lawsuits just dropped them without explanation. I have not, none of the people, these 2 people did not call me up and say, Cindy, this is why I dropped my lawsuit. Nope, they haven't. They just dropped them mid everything. One just didn't show up. Got in a little trouble with the courts, I think. But that was able to be settled down, and the court didn't charge them with anything. But courts don't like to be stood up. So that one just faded into the sunset and went nowhere. Then a former police officer sued that after resigning with their lawyer's assistance, sued the town for wrongful termination. Well, you can imagine where that went, and that is another one that just got dropped. Every once in a while I do a search of Pacer and Superior Court and just Google to try to find whatever happened to that case. And the best I can say is they just dropped it because that was a lose. That was an absolute losing case. So the town is the winner in these cases. There's no lawsuits that have any meat to them or stuck. Then there's another lawsuit. Our former police chief Eaton, he sued the town for wrongful termination. He was fired, and we had a very public hearing about that. Joe Skank even made sure that we filled the auditorium in the old high school. So that was a mess. That was a really horrible time to even be in Townsend, let me tell you. But Chief Eaton was rightfully terminated. And that was decided by the courts. And that was a very lengthy process, very expensive for either Mr. Eaton or his lawyers, depending on whether that was taken on in contingency. And I have no idea who had to pay for all the work that went into this attempt at suing Townsend. But I think these cases have led very bad decisions by the following select board, which is Joe Skank, Chaz, Sexton Duranian, and Veronica Kell, made very bad decisions which are harming the town right now. And I'll get to that, but I want to go back to these lawsuits. So Mr. Eaton he filed this wrongful termination, and I think he started off in state court and then went to federal court. I can't remember. I don't remember specifically, but it was federal court that they, like in most cases, they asked for summary judgment. And I don't remember who asked for summary judgment. These are all public records. I'm not divulging anything that I'm not allowed to talk about. I'm just saying what's on the court's websites, because I mean, I really don't know that much more. And that's all you need to know. But Chief Eaton, the court ruled in summary judgment that he had no case, that he was rightfully terminated. He had no cause to claim wrongful termination, and the case was over. And the town won that case. The town did absolutely the right thing, according to the judge, by terminating him, and we did the right thing in arguing these lawsuits. Whatever the lawsuits were, we fought the lawsuits, and the town prevailed. And you know what? At no cost to the taxpayers. Why do I say that? Because we had a good insurance policy. Remember that. We had a good insurance policy. And they were known for defending their money, because the insurance policies are the ones who would pay. The taxpayers usually don't pay on these kind of lawsuits. It's the insurance company. So they did a really great job in defending all of this stuff. So now there's one more lawsuit that Joe Skank brought up, and that was his wife even sued the town of Townsend. Well, why did she do that? Defamation. She filed a lawsuit in Middlesex Superior Court for defamation. If you want information about that lawsuit, it is all posted on the internet. Where on the internet? Middlesex Superior Court. If you go to masscourts.org and you go to Middlesex Superior Court and you look up Patricia Clark and you look up the case that says defamation, there's hundreds of documents in there that was discovery in that case. It is still there. Last I looked, I haven't looked for a few months, but I believe it's still there. So I think somebody I talked to about this recently told me it's still there too. So if you want to know some of the dirt in Townsend, you'll find it right there. But what's different about this case? The town settled. The town didn't want to go to trial on the defamation case. So, I mean, I can only speculate that she was going to win in court, because the insurance company, it was again the insurance company attorneys who were there who decided they made the decision. The town doesn't really make decisions too much when we're not paying for the lawyer, because again, the town didn't pay for the legal defense, the insurance company did. The insurance company attorneys decided that it would be better to settle. Better for them mostly, but probably better for the town too, because I'm assuming this. I can only assume when people settle court cases, you can't say with a matter of fact why they settled, and Gordy he won't tell me anything because they can't. They legally can't. So I mean, there's nothing I can say other than my assumption, and my assumption is she would have won. She would have prevailed at trial. It would have been very embarrassing for the town of Townsend. And I encourage everybody to go to the Middlesex Superior Court page in the masscourts.org, and look up the case, and you can see all the discovery, and you'll be able to see why the town settled. Okay? So again, that's the case that Gordy Clark's wife brought to the town of Townsend was kind of the only case the town made. They didn't lose because it was settled. So it's not a win-lose on a settlement. But interesting that all the other ones that Joe Skank and Veronica Kell and some of the other cult followers of Joe Skank put out there is that, oh my God, they caused all these lawsuits. No, we didn't. We successfully defended frivolous lawsuits that were brought against the town for just bullshit reasons. And we prevailed in all of them. And the only one that the town had, the select board, I mean, certainly Gordy was off the board by the time this thing settled. It was Joe Skank, Veronica Kell, and I believe Chaz was there too, who were on the board when that case settled. So see if Joe has anything to say about that. But he can't, because anybody involved is, well, I don't know what he knows, because, anyway, but anybody involved can't discuss the details, but it's all public record anyway. But she got a settlement. I don't know how much, but she got a settlement from the town for the defamation that was there, apparently. Okay? So this, all this crap that Joe Skank and his followers, his cult followers, put out there is garbage. And here's another paragraph. On a brighter side, Joe Skank doesn't have a brighter side, does he? I'm going to check comments again. Nobody left any more comments. Okay. Are you guys speechless? You have nothing to say about my venting here and telling the truth? Joe Skank wants the truth out there. I'm telling it. And you can't do anything about my soapbox. My YouTube channel is not Facebook. You can't make all these, you can't kick me off my throne. Anyway, let's see. And on the brighter side, I got to move this. Some of this is getting blocked by something. I can't move it. Darn it. Okay. On the brighter side, that's amazing. I can't believe he even said that word. I understand a Townsend resident, Sarah Logan, I believe, is also pull papers. She also is that like pulling taffy? I believe is also pull papers. Did Joe go to school? She would be an outstanding candidate. She would be an outstanding candidate. Well, I thought she was a candidate since she pulled paper. Oh, because she hasn't gotten anybody to sign them yet. I'm sure there's enough of Joe Skank's cult followers to sign these papers. She would be an outstanding candidate, a very professional person to represent our community. So please, everybody, post this on different pages. But we need to get the backing behind Sarah, please. I think that's all it says. Please don't let Townsend go backwards or something. I got something blocking it, and I can't see it. Let me see. Can I move this? Let Townsend go backwards. Okay. I think putting Sarah Logan in would be going backwards. Very professional. Well, how is she professional? What kind of experience does she have? How long has she been living in Townsend? What does she do? What has she been doing in Townsend? I know Sarah Logan ran against Harrison for the town clerk's office and lost, because it was a clear pick that Harrison Mayotte came to us with experience from another town clerk's office. He was working in the town clerk's office in Chelmsford, and the town clerk in Chelmsford and their staff highly endorsed Harrison for the role in Townsend, and I believe they still support him. Because he's really done a fine job. He's done an excellent job as town clerk. And I noticed that Joe Skank couldn't put out anything negative about Harrison's work as a town clerk. All he said that is in the few times that he may have stopped by the town clerk's office, Harrison wasn't there or he didn't see him. I don't know. But that has nothing to do with the quality of his work, does it? I can go to anybody's office, and sometimes I do go to town hall, and every employee isn't available at my beck and call. I may have to come back if there's somebody I need to see. And that happens a lot. We don't have a big staff, we don't. But they're always there to collect my taxes, though. They always have somebody there to do that. Right? All right, my phone is blowing up, I think. Let's see. Nope, it's just junk mail. All right. When I do these videos, a lot of people, they watch the video, but they comment on my phone. They send me private text messages. They don't always want their post to be seen on YouTube. That's fine. If you know my phone number, don't hesitate to do that. It's kind of, tough to handle all that, but I don't mind. It's kind of fun. It's fun because people do say funnier things on my phone than they do on YouTube. So whatever. Don't look for my phone number, and I don't want to change my phone number because I'm getting harassed. I would prefer not to have that happen. Oh, I need something to drink here. I'm not even halfway through my first cup of coffee, people. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so I still don't understand how, I'm not attacking. I don't like to really dissect people and destroy them unless they're trying to destroy me. And Sarah Logan hasn't done anything to me. So I don't dislike her as a person. I don't. I'm not. But when you enter into politics, and I know if anybody in this town knows how vile it can get, I do. I am a poster child for how vile it can get in Townsend politics. And Sarah and Harrison or whoever's running have to have tough skin and know that people are going to politically attack them, and by saying that they're not qualified, and those kind of things do make you feel bad. They do make you feel bad, and you gotta suck it up. You just gotta be able to know that you're still a good person somewhere in there, and that you don't have to believe what these people are saying about you, even though they're right about, when it comes to qualifications for an elected office, sometimes it's hard to dispense of the negativity, because some of it may be true. And when I'm speaking of Sarah Logan, I'm not on a personal attack against Sarah Logan as a person, and because I really don't know her. I've met her a couple times when she was running before, but she hasn't been out there. We haven't seen her since. I don't know where she's certainly not involved with Townsend stuff. She's not doing anything in the community that I'm aware of. She's not, attending meetings. She doesn't know what the hell's going on in town hall, I don't think. Or she's not engaging. I haven't seen her on any Zoom meetings. I haven't seen her in person at any meetings. And so she's not engaged with what kind of things she would need to even be aware of as a select board member. And you really need a base understanding. Usually we get contestants, I was going to say, we get, like a game show. Is this a game show? Sometimes I think I'm in a game show, a nightmare, Fantasy Island or Logan's Run, or, I don't know what some of these, I don't know. Townsend politics can get really vile. But you have a base. And I think most of the people that I'm thinking of that have been running have been active on other boards before they make a run for select board, or they're involved in some strong aspect of the town. They've been on FinCom, they've been on a school committee, or they've been on conservation. They've been on. I'm trying to think what other boards some of our select board members have been on. Even, I can sit here and, I have gone after other people. Like Chaz was very heavily involved in anything to do with housing, and he had been doing that for a number of years. Veronica Kell has been, usually for a long time, she was involved with conservation and those types of boards. I don't know that she's even interested in that stuff anymore. She's on the conservation she's on a bunch of boards associated with being on the select board, but she didn't come out of the weeds. And let's see, even other contestants, other candidates running. Mark Hussey, he was on FinCom for a long time, or for at least a couple cycles, or at least one cycle, I don't know. But he's been out there, and I know he pays attention to what's going on, and he's known by folks as somebody who's paying attention, and he was very vocal and somewhat knowledgeable on FinCom. So when he ran, there was something. Even Laura Schifrin has been involved. She's a realtor, but that's not, to me, that's not enough, and that's not what I'm saying about Laura Schifrin. But she's been involved with planning board. Big on how she was on the housing authority for many years, and so these folks have come. I I can talk about them and the jobs that they're doing now, and I do, I do. But they came to this Board of Selectmen or Select Board with experience in and how the town operates, and just without going on an all-out attack on Sarah Logan, she just doesn't have that experience, and she hasn't appeared to try to get that experience. I mean, she's just to me, she's just a candidate that Joe Skank, they're able to dredge out of the woodwork to run for things, but she as a person has not made any attempt to become a real candidate to that with actual interest of her own. I think that she's just seen as somebody that will be a mouthpiece for the cult, and not somebody who's really got her own ideas and can really put energy into the select board position. She doesn't have municipal experience at all to bring to the table, and her whole time on the board, if she got on, would be all a learning curve, and she would be, what, huh? What's that? And not really understand the issues except the ones that were fed to her from Joe Skank and the cult. And I don't think, and it's hard enough to try to, being out here and not, when you're deciding to run, you can think of all the reasons why you should run, but then when you do get in that seat, there's a lot of things going on that you just didn't see coming, and it's not the same world it looks like from the outside. I know this. I learned this, and it's very rough. I mean, if you think Facebook is bad, try to, when you're on the select board, you do have a lot of people coming at you from all sides, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, and I can testify to that. And then getting information, people want to give you information that's only one-sided, and trying to even get information is hard. Now today, there's more technology available, and there's more access to information when you're on the board. And then right now, our boards are I think transparency has been banned by the Board of Selectmen. I would like them to put that in writing, because that's what they're doing. But Sarah Logan really has no business getting on the select board. I don't think she's a good candidate. I don't know what Gordy Clark is doing. I know I've been joking around for years that to take out, maybe just for fun, I might. No, I'm not. I'm not taking out papers, but just for fun sometimes. And people talk about this all the time. Take out papers and not turn them in. I don't know what he's doing. I don't see. I don't know. I don't think. I think this is Harrison's race to win, and I think we should give it to Harrison. And I think that I think he's proven himself as town clerk. He's done an excellent job and really advocating for the people in his quest for transparency and providing, making sure, fighting the fight, fighting town hall, even though he works there. But he's, town clerk's a separate elected official, that doesn't answer. He doesn't answer to the Board of Selectmen, or the select board. Someday I'll get that right. But he's independent in that way, and he's really got what it takes to argue, that make sure that the townspeople are represented properly. And I think that's why. In fact, I know it's why he wants to get on the select board, so that he can represent and advocate for our townspeople much better than what's happening now. And having been in that town hall as his full-time employment, he's really got the pulse of what's going on, both inside town hall and out here. He hears from everybody, and he also does know the inside scoop on 99% of the issues, something that Sarah Logan and clearly Joe Skank does not have. So, but this is the kind of crap. I mean, this video was really to expose and try to curtail this nonsense that Joe Skank puts out there. And quite often with some of these Facebook groups, and the two Facebook groups that I know of that he posted this onto, discussing Townsend and what's going on, they're one-sided. They're part of the cult, and they are the only, I believe that they're the only Facebook groups that will allow this kind of Joe Skank is probably banned from some of the other groups because of some of the things that he puts out there, and it's pretty disgusting. I've seen or heard of some of the posts that have been removed from some of the other groups, but not what's going on, and not discussing Townsend. They thrive on this stuff, and they take this as gospel. And most of what's here is a damn lie. And I think Joe has no right to say that anybody else is not a Townsend resident, because he isn't. He is not a legitimate resident in my book. Legally, he's probably got, set it up right so that he can remain a voter here. But everybody in town knows he lives at Winnipesaukee. He's probably not spending a lot of time there right now because it's cold. But I'm sure he's spending a lot of time down in Florida and everywhere else. I'm sure. I'm confident. In fact, he was probably not even in Townsend when he wrote this Facebook post, this disgusting piece of, it's not even in English. It's terrible. But that's all I have to say about that. And there's no point to this. I don't know. Let me see. Some people, I'm going to pull them up on my phone. I didn't put them on my computer, so I can't pull them up completely. I'm going to get that out of here. So I'd love to hear your comments. Some of you are watching here. If you have any comments to say, be nice to me, because I'll ban you from my channel. This is not Facebook, by the way, just to let you know. Let's see. I think I'm going to read some of these. Where'd I put them? Okay. Let's see. Oh, yes. I guess somebody turned off, in the what's going on, somebody turned off comments. Because, they were picking on Joe. People were picking on Joe. Let's see what else. Where did I put him? Oh. Some of these I'm just not even. Let's see. I just have all these texts. I'm trying to go through them. All right. One person said, response to this post of Joe's was, so smear other candidates and then post about who you support? You could have easily just made this post about who you support. And that's, clean politics is not about smearing other candidates. I never did it. When I ran, I was shaking hands and doing group photos with the people that were running against me. In fact, the Neshoba paper on the front page put the picture of the three of us, because I insisted on that picture. We're all running for a seat that we want, and I didn't have anything bad to say about anybody, and nobody said anything bad. I mean, they were trying a little bit. It's like, why? Let's just, we're running. Whoever's going to vote for us is going to vote for us. And I mean, I won, but we didn't get vile against each other. We didn't need to. I think it's stupid. I mean, and it makes people look pretty shitty when you're running like that. And Joe Skank responded that he's just putting out facts, which there's no truth about that. Let's see. It's real facts, Joe says. No, it's not. Oh, a bunch of crap. Oh, let's see. What else? Oh, I keep hitting the wrong thing. Oh, somebody said, oh yeah, Joe was accused of being vague. Do you have any more insight or information? And then somebody responded to that. No, he doesn't. Otherwise, he would have said, those of us that remember Joe as a selectman still have PTSD from this type of nonsense. So there's plenty of people that could care less what Joe Skank has to say. And someone correctly posted, in that case, speak to the candidates directly and go to the candidates' night and watch it on YouTube or watch it on the YouTube channel. It will be far more informative than rabbling posts on Facebook. Agreed. Somebody said this gave me a headache to read. What happened to proper grammar, punctuation, and paragraphs? Somebody else said, please learn to structure your sentence and wording properly. You could be 100% right, but when you type with such jumbled up, incoherent verbiage, it unfortunately implies uneducated and uninformed, which leads me to think that whatever case you're making, it's wrong. My eyes hurt. Absolutely true. Now let's see. There's another one. I got another posting here. Let's see. Oh, jeez. See if I can get someplace. All right. Reading this was honestly difficult. It feels like it could have been used a little bit more thought and clarity. Harrison has lived in our town for a year now. He may not own a house here, but let's be realistic. In this economy, who can afford to buy a home right now? Really? And knowing this out, you got to make a lot of money to buy a house, let me tell you, nowadays. And we're not paying too many. The only people making enough money to buy a house in Townsend are police officers. That alone shouldn't define somebody's commitment to a community. He is absolutely a member of community and one I am proud to support. Anytime I've had a question, he has answered with honesty and integrity. And if he didn't have the exact answer, he made sure to connect me with someone who did. That kind of effort and accountability matters. Let's see. Oh yeah, and Joe starts attacking some of the other people, claiming that they're fake profiles. The people that were against Joe Joe accused them of having fake profiles. My God. And Joe had claimed that he was putting out facts, and somebody commented, not really, what you have said is an opinion. Fortunately, the kids today are taught the difference between facts and opinions, of which Joe gave none. Let's see. And that's when Joe accused the one person of having a fake profile. Let's see. Oh. I like this. This really reminds us of who Joe Skank really is. And Joe said something here. Somebody said, when the purple bag selectman tells you who to vote for somebody else. Joe Skank wanted to do away with trash. He was adamant and he was very clear. I did a video. I did a short, and I did the video of a selectmen's meeting, and I also did a short that showed Joe saying these things, that he wanted to punish the taxpayer. And he said this. He wanted to punish the taxpayer, and it's not just fact. It's on a video. It's not just a fact. It's a fact. That he wanted to punish the taxpayers for not passing an override. I'll show them. You don't want to pass an override, this is what's going to happen to you. They were trying to use it just a plain user fee, which would have been exorbitant, because they wanted to charge everybody the fee, which was illegal. But Joe was adamantly wanted to punish the taxpayers for not passing the override the year we started the purple bag thing. But Joe's answer to this was, just for the record, this is Joe. Just for the record, I did not vote for them purple bags. I would have just voted to have everybody pay, and we wouldn't have purple bags. He wants to admit that he tried to screw over the taxpayers completely, which that would have been, they wanted to charge a fee to everybody, not, which is illegal, in which I brought that to their attention, and the town administrator, actually Nelson was brand new town administrator in the middle of that mess, and I sent him the law, and of course they went to town council to make sure that I wasn't pulling wool over their eyes, and like, nope, I was right that you can't charge a user fee for something that people aren't using. So but Joe and Chaz wanted to just screw everybody and charge a user fee in order to fund the town's general fund, which can't do that. But this is, and Joe's admitting this now in this Facebook post yesterday, that he wanted to screw over the taxpayers and have everybody pay, and we wouldn't have purple bags. Oh yeah, that's better. And that number was going to be around $400 a month. No, not a month, sorry. A year, rather than what it is now. And is it 100, 150? What is it? I think I don't remember, because I'm not, I opted out. I'm privately contracted with another company, and I'm not even contracted with Shaw's, by the way. But yeah, so, but Joe Skank wanted to screw us all, and he had no qualms about telling everybody either that we needed to be punished for not passing that override that was just poorly put together at that time. We need an override now, people. I don't know. I hope the select board are going to change what they're doing. But anyway, let's see. Somebody else said that they've known Harrison for a few years now and would consider him very smart, very knowledgeable when it comes to Mass General Law. He is enthusiastic and takes his position very seriously. That I would agree. And another person backed up this other person. I'm not going to name all these names. I'm protecting them. I don't want to see them attacked. But if you want to go to Townsend, what's going on, or discussing Townsend to see some of these things, if you're on those groups, I'm not. I absolutely agree with you. He's an outstanding person, and Joe has no idea what he's talking about, and some of those negative comments are from people who don't even live in our town. Of course, just more BS to smear a candidate that Joe doesn't agree with or won't do his bidding. Let's see. Yep, speak to the candidates directly, somebody said. Oh, shoot. There were so many comments that someone sent me a video of scrolling through the comments. So, you know what, I don't pause it at the right moment. I don't get... And I lost this comment. It's here somewhere, but I did lose it. Somebody mentioned, which I'm glad I wanted to take that opportunity to go over those lawsuits with you. And someday I may do a more thorough overview of those lawsuits. But this is how Joe operates. He feeds breadcrumbs to you, but doesn't back it up, and it just kind of swirls around the rumor mills. And the story gets told the way he wants it told. And when he talks about lawsuits that originated back when I was on the select board, him and his cult like to, say that I cost the town all this money. There are all these lawsuits that were caused by something that we did wrong, and every last one of them were proven that we did everything right, and it didn't cost the town anything. It was the insurance company that paid for and the judges in these cases either determined that they were frivolous lawsuits and had no merit to them, or the people dropped the suits without explanation, which one of them at least I know was completely frivolous and could not possibly win. And I think their own lawyer probably told them that. And the last one was actually Gordy Clark's wife, who Joe is still attacking, who was the town actually settled with her defamation suit because she was being defamed through all this political nonsense. She was being defamed, and the town settled with her at no cost to the town. The taxpayers didn't fund these alleged frivolous lawsuits. We had good insurance back then, something we don't have now, because once Joe Skank, Veronica Kell, and Chaz Sexton-Duranian got involved, they changed the insurance policy. So now it doesn't have the same coverage, and they did what they could to save money. Oh, we're doing the right thing. We won't have to worry about being sued. Right now, we're having $1 million lawsuit, which when we lose it, it will cost a lot more than that. And it's not covered by insurance. The taxpayers are on the hook. Swallow that. This is the lawsuit that is going to really cost the town's taxpayers a lot. Whether we settle it, or which I think we should settle it sooner than later, because it's obviously a lose, especially since we are funding it. We are paying our town council to defend us in this lawsuit. That's why on the warrant for the special town meeting, and they're going to have to up it again, our legal budget has got to double and quadruple. And then when we do have to pay out on this lawsuit, we're going to have a town meeting and have probably a debt exclusion or something in order to pay out the lawsuit. But one of the comments on yesterday's Facebook, somebody said, "Oh, thanks for reminding me about those lawsuits." And that's the stirring of the pot that Joe likes to get, because people who are not involved in town government, you're out there and you hear parts of the story, and you grasp onto that, and then when you remember things years later, it's your memory doesn't remember everything because you never knew everything to begin with. And so I wanted to take this opportunity. Joe's still trying to stir the pot, and Veronica pulls it out. She brought it up in a meeting once, and I thought I was going to lose my mind. But to accuse me, you can't, just try to make my voice muted, basically. So don't listen to Cindy, because she had all these. When Cal came on the board, we had all these lawsuits we had to deal with. No, the insurance company had to deal with them, and first of all, they didn't cost the town anything. So if the board of selectmen spent town money on anything to do with these lawsuits, they shouldn't have spent a dime, because the insurance company was covering the bill completely. Everything to do with those lawsuits back in the day were covered by insurance, unlike the $1 million lawsuit today. But anyway, but when they try to stir the pot like that, they only target part of your memory, and it stirs you up, and you think that there's all this truth to this, and oh yeah, Joe's right. There's all this horrible things that Cindy King did. And it's like, no, it was Joe Skank, Veronica Kell, and Chaz Sexton-Duranian that were trying to use taxpayer money. And they just keep trying to stir the pot. But as I just explained to you, and if you're just coming in here, back up and listen to this video a little bit farther to listen to the truth about these lawsuits. And all of these lawsuits, you can look up. They're on the internet. They're on the court pages. The Eaton case is on Pacer. The Clark case is on the Middlesex Superior Court. I believe the other cases are in Middlesex Superior, or one of them I think for some reason is in Worcester. But if you can get, I'm not going to go too deep into them. For some of them, I don't. It's all public record, so I don't think there's any problem with me doing so. But the town won all the cases except for the settlement with Patty Clark. The town won. So everything that was done that there were lawsuits about when I was on the board were found by a court to be right. We did the right thing. Not Joe Skank and his friends and his cult. So, and it was his cult that instigated the lawsuits, not the select board. And Patty Clark only defended herself and won. Is a settlement anyway. You know, listening to what Joe Skank has to say, there's a reason I call him Joe Skank, and this video should explain that. All right. So anyway, anybody have anything for me to add, talk about on this? I'd love your comments. The live chat is open, people. But anyway, yeah, so we're heading into election season, and my understanding is what Joe Skank did say that was true is that yes, Gordy Clark has taken out papers. I don't know if he's being serious. I don't think so. I don't think he's being serious. I don't think he wants to get on that board. I don't. So I think it's just fun. He's just doing it to stir the pot, which is I've threatened to do that just to get mostly just to get Joe Skank going. What would Joe Skank do if I took out papers today? If I went down to town hall and took out papers, what would he do? Oh my. I can imagine the Facebook post now. How dare she do that? And if I did it, I'd probably just be kidding. I'd be kidding. I would only be doing it to get somebody else to run. Get people to run. If I run, somebody's got to run against me, right? Huh? Yeah? I should get a whole half a dozen people who've taken out papers. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's been people usually do write-in campaigns too. Doesn't work well on select board, but usually there's somebody running. And we're going to be doing a 5-member board before too long too. Hopefully not sooner than later, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I keep hearing what town hall people want with that, and people want the 5-member board. That is I believe it's a strong win. And those of you who are going to go vote in April, if you vote for anything, vote yes on the 5-member board. Jeez. But yeah, and Sarah Logan did take out papers. I think she took yesterday, I guess. I think everything happened yesterday. I don't know. But yep. But I think that this is, and Joe is going to use his, I think a lot of people at least know that Joe Skank is usually full of shit, and he spreads his attitude around. If you don't remember, I mean, he was on the board. He's the reason we had a disaster a year and a half ago when Chaz had to quit in shame because he was revealed to be a sexual predator, and he resigned from the board and made the 6 o'clock news on channel, or what is it, NBC 10, whatever it is. I like that channel. But they did a story on him. So, and he's not, there's a big lawsuit against him. Oh man, his victims are suing him in federal court for civil rights violations. So I'm trying to follow that story. It's kind of, there's some things moving in that case, but very slowly. I don't even know what they're doing, but he's like ignoring it actually, but that's a whole nother story. But, yeah, but Joe, let's see. So Chaz quit, and it was Joe and Teresa, and Joe had already been very clear about his hatred for Teresa, which I think he mostly hates women. He treats women like dog shit, especially if they have any authority. And he was trying to get, if you remember, Teresa won the election over Lisa Lewan, who was vilified in the press because of her lack of experience and bad history. Um, when you run, they come for you. Lisa got it, but Teresa won that because that's not who Teresa was, and Joe never got over it and was treated Teresa like shit the entire time they were on the board. So when Chaz left, it was Joe and Teresa, and he couldn't handle it. I think I call him a chicken shit something. Oh, chicken shit quitter? Is that what I called him? Because he wasn't prepared. I mean, his time on the board, he just did whatever. Chaz led the way, and Joe just put his 2 cents, attacked people along the way, but wasn't really in a position. He didn't I don't think he knew how the town really should have been running. He just knew what kind of personal attacks he wanted to do and personal favoritism. I mean, he could have gotten himself into prison. Talk about an walking ethics violation. I think we would have been in if he had stayed on. So in a way, we're lucky that he quit. But when he resigned, that left us with Teresa only. So we had no quorum on the select board. And so he left us in a lurch. We had no select board for 2 months. And to this day, we do not know what happened in town hall during those 2 months because the town administrator never revealed anything. I don't know if anything was going on. I don't know how the payroll got done. We had no board of selectmen for a couple of months. And then we had the special election, and that's how we got Veronica and Lori. And then Teresa did resign, and then we finally got a 3-member select board again the following April. So Joe Skank was deeply involved with that disaster. And there were a number of financial disasters. They discovered that they had done a math error, which I swear to this day was deliberate. I can't prove it, but I think which is why we need to get away from doing Excel on our budgeting. We need to use the software that is going to be discussed at the special town meeting. We need that to take away from the fraud or the potential fraud and to take away from errors. That we were $300,000 in the hole once the select board, DOR brought it to the town's attention. Like, you got to find $300,000. And that was money that went missing during Joe Skank's term, and he got the hell out right before it was discovered. Imagine that. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. I'm just showing you. Joe left, and all of a sudden, all these problems arose. And Chaz got off easy on that one, too. I don't know what he would have said. I think somebody told me Chaz was following that thread and he was liking Joe's comments. Of course he was. Maybe they're closer than anybody knows. Maybe they're a lot closer. I'm just going to leave that hanging there. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, what else do I have to say? All right. If you want to get into the mess and run for select board, you still can if you take out papers today or tomorrow. I don't recommend you do. I think we got a good candidate. I think Harrison's really, it's his race to lose, and I think that I think he'll do really well on the select board, and I think that we should stop the fun and games and just put our efforts into supporting him, his candidacy, and his ultimate election to the select board. There's no reason why not. None. Unless you want to follow the cult and cause more chaos. We need people who can go in there and do the work of the job. Actually do the work. And there's a lot that needs to be done. Going in this April, we have a financial disaster going on. And we need people that really understand it, that are aware of it, that have been involved with the budget and looking at what is happening. And Harrison has been. So we can't afford to have an amateur in there. And that's what we'd get with any of the, with Sarah, would be an amateur in this area. Absolutely. So anyway, there are other positions open, I think. And I think that we're still lacking people taking out papers. Don't do what usually happens with all the write-in votes. We need to actually get viable candidates that really want to do the work. So hopefully, I haven't checked in on what the listing, once they, everything closes on Monday. Everybody has to have their papers turned back in on Monday. So hopefully we'll have, I'll get the list, and maybe the town clerk will put it on the website. Hint, hint. Harrison, put it on the website when you get the list compiled of who took out papers on what positions. Put it up there so we can all see it, and I can do another video. But I am dying to see what seats still don't have candidates and what the write-in race will be. Because those are always interesting. People just ignore a lot of things, and people get on these boards with 5 votes. They do, and the planning board was operated like that right up through last election for years. That's how people got on this planning board or got reelected to the planning board. Nobody took out papers. Just have 10 of your friends write your name in. It's like, and a planning board is a very important board. I mean, come on, people. But we need more interest in some of our boards. That's all there is to it. But everybody wants to be in charge, though. The real nasty politics comes out in the select board, which that happens everywhere. But we need, if Sarah wants, I'd recommend, Sarah, that you withdraw your select board. Don't return your papers, Sarah, and take out papers. If you really want to get on a board and really learn the ropes, take out papers for one of the other boards. There's boards that probably still have people who haven't taken out papers. There may be a seat still on the planning. One of the people that are, I think there's 3 seats available on the planning board, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of the people didn't take out papers yet for it. So Housing Authority's got a seat open. I mean, they're not very busy, but get your feet wet. I'm trying to, what other elected offices are there? There's the assessors. That takes a lot of work. You have to get trained up. Once you get elected to assessors, you have to get training. It's mandatory. What other boards do we have? I think Board of Health has a seat. I'm assuming they're running re-election, but there's a number of, check it out. The list is on the website, both for Sarah and for anybody else who thinks, maybe I should get involved. I'd like to get involved on one of these boards. Take out papers. The veterans, there's a Veterans Memorial Board. I think they have 2 seats open, one for a veteran, one for a non-veteran. Those are good. That's an interesting board to get on. I was on that years ago. Yeah, I mean, I really, I don't think that there's any reason why Sarah shouldn't. I don't understand if she wanted to get involved with the town. She's only gotten involved when Joe Skank has asked her to get on a seat. She hasn't had an interest in getting involved with the town otherwise, except for these controversial elections. And it makes no sense to me, like, why she wouldn't, if she really wanted to be involved with the town, why she wouldn't get involved with the town and try to get on other boards, even the one that she, that, I don't, it's kind of weird. It's weird candidacy. I don't understand. She wanted to do so. It's all volunteer stuff. I mean, town clerk isn't volunteer. That is a paid position. But there's so many things that she could be doing to really show herself. And then next time, get your feet wet on some of these other boards. And then if you want, I mean, whenever we do the 5-member board, then run for that. But these controversial elections and dealing with the Joe Skanks of the world is not, it's not pretty. And do you really want to be involved with these attacks? Because I think it's going to get nastier on Facebook. Facebook is going to be nasty. It's already, people haven't even turned their papers in, and it's already nasty. Joe Skank got right out of the gate and showed his colors again. Like we don't know what his colors are already. All right, I think I'm still, have I finished my first cup of coffee yet? No. Can't believe I haven't fallen asleep talking to you. All right. What else we got going on? Anything? Okay. I will not be doing a video tonight because I have another engagement. I'll probably do other videos. I've got other things. I keep telling you I got all these other videos I'm going to do. Still on the verdict watch on the David Vajant story. If somebody knows something, please tell me. Or put it on Facebook. Put it on the Real Deal Townsend something. I don't know the name of the Facebook. It's my group. I got a Facebook group, Real Deal around Townsend. I don't even remember what I called it. I changed the name of it from whatever it was. So, but sign up. I know some people have signed up that I recognize from the chats on here on the YouTube channel. But yeah, people are coming over, and it's not really an extension. My Real Deal Townsend Facebook group is not an extension of this channel. I do post my videos there. I don't live stream from there. It is a community page, which tries not to be vile. It was for a little bit, but the people that their opinions weren't valued as valid. They weren't getting the feedback that they wanted, so they left. I didn't ban them. They left. It's like, okay, and a couple of them tried to come back, and I'm like, no, I don't want your type of opinions. I mean, I don't want this on my channel. Go to What's Going On. You want violent conversations, go to What's Going On. That's where it is. That's where the nasty shit is. But if you want just community, it's mostly community postings. It's active. It's an active page, but it's not that, it just doesn't have all the, I think I'm probably the one who puts the most controversial stuff up. And I really don't say that much. I mostly put community postings, and other people put community postings, and I'll put news up there sometimes, but it doesn't have the vile stuff. So come on over. I do have a lot of I have to go through the member request. I don't let everybody in either. There's a lot of people are very creative, and the scammers, spammers, whoever they are, from China or wherever they're from, they're pretty good at masking themselves. And so I try to keep them out. And sometimes that net catches people who are here legitimately, and they're trying to get on, and I just can't be sure who they are, so I don't let them in. But give it a shot, and let me know if you're trying to get in and I don't understand. Let me know somehow. And I'm not letting you in, and you want to get in, and you're trustworthy, I'll let you in. I'm not like the others. But Facebook is what Facebook is. And I like YouTube because you can't silence this. You can't silence my soapbox. You can only silence yourself, and I appreciate you silencing yourself. All right, so I think we've had enough. I think we've had enough of Joe Skank today. Okay. All right. I think that's all I have. So I want to thank everybody for being here. And I know I did have a few people watching live, which is sometimes challenging during the day. So thank you for everybody. And another, I'll do it again. Show this. Okay. Like and subscribe. You know the thing. You know what I have to say. All YouTubers say this. Like and subscribe, share, comment, do all that stuff, so that we can share the wealth, share the information, and other people can really be on the receiving end of the important information coming out of Townsend, Massachusetts, and God knows what's happening here day to day. So thanks everybody for watching, and if you're just joining, I know some people I see people coming in right now. I'm about to go off, but just go back to the beginning and watch from the beginning. You can rewind right now while you're watching. I can't rewind because I'm live, but you can rewind and be at any point in this video, even though I'm not here. All right. Thanks again. I really appreciate everybody, and thanks for watching, and hopefully it's been informative. And I think it has. I think it has. So hopefully you agree. And do let me know by commenting in the regular comments and your like, whether you like, like this stream so that I'll know. I'll know that this is the kind of stuff you want to hear. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Nicer day than yesterday.